Okay, we'll call the committee of the whole meeting for December 14th to order at 11 a.m. I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Masterman that the committee of the whole adopt the agenda for the committee of the whole meeting December 14th as presented.
Be happy to make that motion.
Okay. All in favor? Consensus? Carried. And we'll go through all these minutes. Ask for a motion from Councillor McMillan that the committee of the whole adopt the October 27th special committee of the whole minutes as presented.
I'll give you that motion.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Ask for a motion from Councillor Nychuk that the committee of the whole adopt the November 2nd, 2020 committee of the whole special committee of the whole minutes as presented.
I'll give you that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And there's a lot of them. Ask for a motion from Councillor Cooey that the committee of the whole adopt the November 24th, 2020 special committee of the whole minutes as presented.
I will give you that motion.
All in favor? Carried. And I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Masterman that the committee of the whole adopt the November 30th, 2020 special committee of the whole minutes as presented.
Yes, I'd be happy to give that motion.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. And I'll send it over to probably Halid's going to lead this one for the town plan review.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, Mr. Mayor and Council. I'm just going to provide you with an update regarding the status of the town plan project. Hopefully my voice is clear.
It is.
Okay, thank you. As members of council are aware that at the regular council meeting of January 27, 2020, council passed a resolution and established a bylaw 4572 2020, being a bylaw to establish a steering committee for the initial review of the town plan. The steering committee review process would focus on the potential scale of the proposed town plan review, which could result in a recommendation that the town plan review process should be either a minor review, a major review, a simple tweaking of the plan, or could conclude that the town plan in its current shape, format, and content is valid and does not trigger a review or an update at this time. According to this council direction, administration has initiated the steering committee's recruitment process and published a call for nominations to form the required steering committee to undertake the initial review of the town plan and receive 2 applications from persons interested. Due to COVID-19, the proposed process, including the recruitment process for establishing the required steering committee, was put on hold until further notice. The 2 individuals that submitted applications were notified and informed that once the recruitment process has been reactivated, they do not need to reapply, as their original applications would be considered valid. Although the recruitment process and the project were put on hold due to the pandemic, during this time, administration did initiate and completed some background research and analysis and revisited the process, purposes, and the desired outcomes of the town plan review project. We have also examined the process that was followed during the last town plan review completed in 2009, which led to the adoption of the current town plan. It has been recognized that the consultation process completed back then was done in a very typical traditional consultation approach, which focused on basically getting the job done. regardless of the level of the value of engagement and community buy-in. In addition, we've also noticed a poor interdepartmental consultation during the process, which nourished the silos culture that we see at times within our organization. And as a result, we have a town plan policy document that has not been understood, widely followed, and or often used by many stakeholders. And that was one of the key discovery that we've seen during these discussions. It has also been recognized that 12 years have passed since the last town plan review, and our community has evolved substantially. There has been significant shift in community dynamics, environment, many new factors, including population growth, service level with high expectations, high water events, major downtown revitalization, a new land use by law, a new annexation of land, regional planning around the corner, and shared economies across the region, and its growing impact on how and where people live and work. All these may have impact on how the town will deliver services for the citizens over the next 20 years or so. But most importantly, we have also noticed that although the current town plan incorporates and promotes smart growth principles on a conceptual basis, but there isn't a clear understanding of what these principles might mean or look like on the ground and how they are related to other town policies and initiatives. And also, although we have an aggressive land use by law that we're all proud of, that promotes walkability and people first through two guiding principles, there still exists a gap between the policy document and the implementation tool, and the policies are not fully aligned. And we see this when we normally reference our decisions in applications and whatnot. In addition, the town's parks, trails, and open space master plan is right now at the finishing stage as we speak. And we will be able to share with you by next week or so the 75% completed draft document for high-level review before we bring forward the final document for council consideration early in the new year. This document is so critical and timely with the town plan review project, as it defines our municipal reserves and open space within our community, and also provide new opportunities for river access and how to bring people around the river with careful access analysis to ensure safety of our community members. In addition to connectivity of trails, which will help enhance the walkability at the community level as well. We also noticed the gap that exists regarding environmental management and climate change, and along with the environmental sustainability that were not addressed in our current policy documents, which all would support high quality of life within our community. It's important to note that during this informal background research exercise and through our professional network, we were able to engage urban systems, a planning consulting team in discussions in an informal workshop to help us foster a greater awareness and understanding of the town plan and how it relates to everyone's day-to-day work within their respective divisions. And for the purpose of learning from also their wide experiences in proposing and completing unique and innovative planning processes for major municipal planning policy documents. This informal workshop was organized on September 21st, 2020, 2.5 months ago, which did not cost the town any money. It was a good opportunity for sharing a high-level perspectives on emerging trends in planning, potential planning policy issues and challenges, the importance of aligning policy documents with the land use by law and council vision, with also community aspirations, and that it does not compete with council strategic plan or vision. It was also an opportunity to reflect on changes in the community and discuss emerging trends in High River and within the surrounding region as well, to help understand how the existing town plan may or may not be addressing these opportunities. The informal discussions with the staff also provided us with a major opportunity to understand that there is a real need for understanding and buy-in from all stakeholders, including internal departments, that they understand the town plan and everything else. And for the first time, I would say that representatives of other departments were able to have full understanding of what the town plan means to their divisions and their roles, and what should it look like moving forward. This unified understanding among all departments would allow us to achieve consistency in responses, as well as in our message back to our community through excellent customer services. We have also realized that the process needs to be different and creative. It should be a community-driven process rather than a policy-driven process. The past town plan review was done based on a policy-driven process. And it's interesting to say that when we follow a policy-driven process, we would be simply able to create another document that satisfies legislative requirements. But on the other hand, we would struggle, as we've always been, to convince people that the town plan is not a planning or a town hall document. It's rather a joint, corporate, and a community document. That's always been a challenge. And so to get there, it's very important to ensure that the process is a community-driven process that is holistic and comprehensive in nature from the get-go, which would help us facilitate great engagement opportunities for members of our community. And that will allow us also to engage development industry, all divisions, schools, every member of our community, which may lead to a greater community buy-in and may also facilitate that we create a document that we all be proud to own it together as the community. Finally, to maintain this momentum and upon council direction and support, we would recommend that engaging members of council and senior administration in a workshop led by the consulting team to ensure that council is fully engaged right up front to better understand how council aspirations are aligned with the town plan. This process would ensure that council and administration have full knowledge and understanding of where we are today and where we're heading and what that roadmap may look like. The result of the discussion at this proposed workshop would help us prepare a comprehensive planning review process that will ensure a whole community buy-in is easily achieved. And this process could be a hybrid process where staff and a consulting team could work together by allowing administration to lead the process and upfront leadership, along with drafting some policies, with the consultant team that may use their extensive experience in drafting and consultation process. We know that 2021 is an election year. And so we also have to understand that this process may be a two-year process, which will allow council to have a great opportunity to work on a document that would be easily aligned with their long-term vision and council strategic plan. We now have an innovative land use bylaw in place and very aggressive. And we have a great downtown with a great document and streetscape. We have a clear vision regarding quality of development that we need to see in our community, and that is for people. So these elements would provide us with an opportunity to continue to be different and innovative, and we are willing and ready to take the risk, high risk, in exploring all available opportunities for viable plan that will ensure a sustainable, connected, and prosperous development for our community, the one that can be enjoyed by members of our community, by visitors, and become a legacy for generations to come. This is high-level outlines of our report, And I'm done at this point and ready to take any questions, Mr. Mayor.
Well done, Helene. Usual. Councillor McMillan.
Thank you very much, Mayor Snodgrass, and thank you very much, Khalid. That was a very good presentation. I'm just referring, when you mentioned this informal research process on September 21st, where Urban Systems was engaged, and you mentioned that there was no cost to the town. So are we to believe that was this a free workshop provided by Urban Systems then, or can you just explain, like, is that the consultant company that will also be engaged with the future process?
Thank you, Councilor McMillan. It's a great question. Yes, it was. Normal planners normally have a lot of network connections with other consulting firms and whatnot. And so through that network, we have shared some ideas, and they were ready and very supportive that they would provide their expertise to help us navigate this initial process without costing the town any penny. And so that was really a great, and it's very rare to find a consulting team that really offer you a free service like that. So yeah, they may be the one that lead the future workshop as well with council.
Okay, thank you.
Lead, a lot of information that you gave there. Bruce's hand just popped up too, but one quick question from me. You were talking about the town plan, and I think I missed a portion there, but how it's more of an internal document or an external document? I got confused there as to where you were talking about.
Maybe when I was talking about internal stakeholders, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So when we went through that exercise, we have discovered that there was a big gap within our internal departments, that they have the understanding that this is a planning document. It's the same to the understanding of the community members that that's not my document, that's a town hall document. And so the internal departments, they're thinking that this is a planning document, which is exactly the opposite. This is a joint document that should be owned by everyone, every department, every member of the community. It is one town of High River document. And so that's the gap. That's why they always count on planning to implement, to deliver, to take ownership, but that's not true. We are leading in the process, but we're not owning the document. The document should be owned by every department. And that's why we wanted to speak all together. And so we understood that by the comments we've heard from other representatives, that they really understand now that we should all be speaking, it's as they say, one voice, many voices, one song. It
Right.
comes out with a strong voice when we're delivering services to our community.
That makes sense. I appreciate that. Councillor Masterman. Thanks, Khalid.
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. So Khalid, thank you for a great presentation again. I think I just need some clarification and a very frank response from you, Khalid, on generally I'm a big proponent and supporter of public consultation. In this case, if we continue with what we had decided with the steering committee and sort of taking it to the community, it sounds like that's going to further delay things. Plus, we and the town and the contractor company will need to really start fresh with these people and educate them on the whole process and sort of the background of how we got to this stage. And I'm just wondering, Khalid, if you could give me your take on why council wouldn't just maybe go ahead and do this, working with admin, working with the contract company. It just seems that in terms of expediency, and not that we need to be expedient in everything, because some things do take time to do them properly. But anyway, I don't know if I made myself clear, Clete, but if you could help me sort this out, that would be great.
Thank you, Councillor Masterman. There's no one way that's wrong or right. To be honest with you, it's about efficiency. It's about what is the best opportunity that we could explore together. You know, administration, council, and the community, to make sure that we're all at the outcome that we wanted to make sure that we have is that a document that's everybody going to be proud of. We all own it together. And the consultation process that we wanted to take and make sure that the community members are in, it's all about really, we need to have that understanding, us and you as council. We need to have that full understanding. What is it? What does it look like? Where we want to go? Where are we today? And so that kind of informal and formal workshops, it will allow us to really have that understanding, and it will allow us together to craft a consultation process that works for both of us, especially for council, that they know exactly what does it look like moving forward. Especially this is, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be an election year. So how do you want to see the overall outcome of that process? And so it's really whether you're going to go through the steering committee routes, or we go through administration and the consulting team and council. I wouldn't say which one is right or which is wrong. It will just help us really navigate the process together with council. And just to make it clear that we don't have a consultant right now that's hired, that's ready to work with us. That's a process that will be followed later. Hopefully I have answered a question. I know I mumbled here, Mr. Councillor Masterman, but I tried.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Clete. I wasn't very clear. I thought you did a good job of answering a very unclear question.
Councillor Cooey.
Thanks, Mayor Snodgrass, and thanks, Khalid. I love your passion and your enthusiasm. It kind of reminds me of the land use bylaw, and I think it's, you know, for many of the reasons you laid out, it's perfect time to be revisiting that. There has been some significant changes. And I guess I just wanted to clarify the process and have a question if we've looked any further. Because this initial process is just really putting together a group of citizens and also conversations with council administration to see how in depth we want to change the town plan. That's step one? Is that correct? The step one that council originally chose was to go through the steering committee route. Yes. Yes. And so as I mentioned earlier, because of the pandemic, we thought we wanted to do something in the meantime. We don't want to just wait. And so that's what we've talked about right now, that the informal consultation and discussion with the consulting team and other departments brought us to understanding that the gap that we see in our current town plan is huge. It's huge. And brings a great opportunity for us. And that's why I wanted to connect with council and to see what does it mean moving forward. Do we want to still go back to the steering committee, which may come back with a recommendation that could say this town plan is good in its current shape and you don't need to do anything about it? Or may come back with a recommendation and say, you just need to do a minor tweak and it's good. So that's why I want to avoid all that process and make sure that this is a huge opportunity for the town to really try to come up with a project that will just put everything else in place moving forward. So it's going to be different for sure, based on what we're talking about right now. Absolutely. Thanks, Khalid. Thanks for that clarification. And I guess my other question is probably a bit premature, you know, in light of
the situation right now, if we've given any thought to how we might, I think we've gotten creative with surveys and interactions like this, how we engage the community beyond that steering committee. So I just, again, I think that's probably premature, so I'm not going to ask. That's unfair. And I think that would also involve our consultant. But anyways, as always, I appreciate your enthusiasm, and I look forward to
and in addition, just Councillor Cooey, the steering committee will always be required for this project. There's no way we can eliminate the steering committee. It will be always required. As I mentioned last time I talked to council, we have a very an experience with PRAC, with the downtown ARP and the town and the land use bylaw. That is a great experience, and I would always want to repeat the same thing, because that would be something that would help us a lot in having such champions that can lead the process with us.
Awesome. Thanks, Lee.
Thanks, Khalid. I'm glad your last statement there. I'm glad you made that, because to me, the steering committee is critical for these kinds of processes, especially like you mentioned to me before. This is a community document. This is, everybody looks at this thing, right? It's not specific to any department or organization. So it's very important that we get community members involved. It helps with buy-in, it helped with PRAC, it helped with the land use bylaw, all these things. We can't just do it internally and send it out for everybody to obey. But at the same time, the steering committee members need to know what our end goal is, and that, oh, this is fine, the previous one looks great. Well, thanks for your feedback, but that's not kind of where we're headed, right? That's an easy way out of this, and that's not what we ever look for. So steering committees, like the role of PRAC and those that were involved with the land use bylaw, they provide excellent feedback. They don't provide direction, and they don't provide decisions. That's the elected council's job. So, but it's important to have voices that are outside of administration and council.
Absolutely.
So we have a full scope of what we're doing. Only then will it be a true town plan, in my mind.
Absolutely.
I don't have any other questions. So anybody else? I like the direction you're headed, and anything else you need from us for now?
That's all I need. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor.
Right on. Appreciate it. Sorry, I just got my computer figured out so that I actually have the agenda in front of me. Okay, thanks, Lead. Open question and answer period. Chris is on for us, so anybody have anything? Nobody has anything. Oh, Councillor Masterman.
This is just thanks, Mayor Snodgrass. Just a procedural thing, and maybe I totally missed it, but I'm not sure we approved the October 26th minutes. Maybe we did. I thought maybe we went right into the 27th.
Very possible that I missed that because I was reading it off of my phone.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but
Kara, can you confirm if we missed one of these adoptions?
Yes.
The 26th we missed?
Yes.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Kinghorn that the Committee of the Whole adopt the minutes from October 26th Committee of the Whole meeting as presented.
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. I will give you that motion.
All in favor? Carried. Thanks, Bruce. It's hard to read off of these things when there's that many. Thank you very much. No further questions. Jamie, your hand's up if you got one.
Yeah, there's a couple of emails circulating a little bit about the curling ice. I know Michael sent one out and Chris had some stuff. Is there any update on that, on the two surfaces over there, the curling and the small, if we're going to take it out or what we're going to do over there?
Not at this point. We're just working through that and having conversations with the curling club right now.
Excellent. Thank you.
No further questions. Meeting adjourned, 11:30. See you at 1 o'clock.